Hey everyone, it's Josh at Double Edge Sharpening, and it's been a little bit since I've done a full-length YouTube video, but I got a pair of shears from a client who actually, I sold them these shears, and they're having an issue with them, and I thought, you know what, it's an interesting one. It's should be a quick fix. We'll have to sharpen them up, but thought I'd talk with you guys about it and kind of bring you along, so let's check it out. Okay, so these shears are a pair of above shears. They are the Ergo series. They are a 6.5 inch. I sold them to the client. She actually bought a few pairs of shears, and she said she really loves them. She's like, for point cutting and slide cutting, the other ones were great. She's like, but these ones, I dropped a pair off to her, and she was like, these ones are having an issue at the tip and at the edge. They're when I'm doing like point cutting or really fast cutting, they're pulling and catching and not cutting very nice. And I thought, that's interesting. Like, they're fairly new. Like, there shouldn't be any issues with them. I mean, unless there's something wrong, like damage to them. And I picked them up. I could see them right away, the reflection in the light. There are some good nicks in this blade. And also when I close it, I can just feel exactly where she was talking about. The area that she's saying wasn't cutting. It's so rough. And they're a convex blade, fully convex. I believe they're about a 50-degree angle. They're very sharp. The problem with convex edges, not the problem, but something you have to be aware of, and I talk about this with, I go to classes or the hair schools here in my hometown and actually out of town too. And I talk about a convex blade. It's really sharp. It's a hard metal that allows it to keep that convex edge for a long time if you maintain it properly. The problem with a convex is it does come to a very fine point, so it is susceptible to being damaged easily if you don't take care of your shears. If you're taking them and just throwing them down on the table with all your other shears and the blades open, or you drop them, they are going to nick. Metal isn't indestructible. It's hard. It allows you to keep that edge. But if something hard hits it, it's going to nick the metal right out of there. Even looking at, like, I could see it with my naked eye when I did it, but bringing it into the magnifier, you can see there's actually metal gone in a few good areas. I honestly don't know if this will work. Let's see if you can see. Okay, let's see. Oh, do you hear the cats? They know I'm out here working. Okay, it's hard to get it in here. Let's see, but there's some chips and nicks in the blade. Cat, right there. There's a good one. Oh my goodness. So you can see how it's there's actually a lot of, right there. See the chips out of the blade? So these need to be resharpened. Fortunately, they don't, not a lot will need to be taken off of them. Like, they are nicked, but it's also very, very light, they're very sharp and they're done very well. So I figured you guys could come along with me while I sharpen them. Now, let's see if we can get you in here so you can see what I'm going to do. Now, my process with sharpening, it evolves, it changes as I go along. Obviously, there's a few ways to do things. When it comes to the ride line, because these shears are actually fairly new, and they're actually haven't been used a lot, obviously something happened on the stylus table, is my guess. Sometimes you lay all your shears out, and when you're working fast and they clunk and clang against each other, I mean, mistakes happen. But with the ride line, it's actually fairly intact. So sometimes what I'd use is a CBN wheel to go and sometimes reestablish the ride line. Other times to actually just do a nice consistent ride line. Excuse me. But in this case, I don't even think I'm going to use the CBN wheel because the ride lines are there. I'm just going to do them a little bit on the flat stone, the honing pad here. So I like to clean them up first. You can even, because if they were dropped, the ride line will tell us if the shears are out of alignment too. So I like to get them... you know what? I didn't show you the test before I did this. I actually test cut them before on dry tissue, and even on... Sometimes I use paper towel to cut off the burr, and I even used paper towel, just a light cut, and it did not cut through paper towel. It did not cut through dry tissue, and I even tested on hair before, and it was doing exactly what she said. It was pulling. It was pulling exactly where she said. So yeah, the ride line's pretty good on this shear. No issues there. So pressure on the pivot, I don't know how well you can see. I'm trying to get you in on my process here. I can turn this a bit. Pressure on the pivot point, finger there, and just back lightly, and that does it. Again, these shears aren't going to need a lot of work. Just on the tip and the blade, and I'm actually thinking I might not even do, like, I don't think I need to go down to a very coarse grit in doing these shears, because they are fairly new and they still have a really sharp edge. It's just where they've been damaged a bit. So that gets the ride line reestablished. So now I'm going to go and sharpen them on the flat hone. I am going to mark them. They should be a 50-degree angle. They're actually very sharp. But I'm going to check that first. And I am going to start with a 1500 grit. That's usually what I end with, but I want to just see how it goes here. So put them in the clamp. Now I like this. This is the angle guide. Allows me to set the angle to what I want, and then what I can do is I can convex and then stop at that angle. I'm never going to roll over that edge. So we're going to start, I'm going to actually start with 1500. And I'm going to do a scratch test here, just to make sure. Yep. That'll do it. All right. So we're going to go slow here, because less is more sometimes. And actually, I'm just going to go and slowly convex right there. Start at 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and this is just a little bit slower. Now, the idea here is we're going to raise a burr, is what we want to do, but we also want to remove all the damage off the blade. Have a burr all the way to the tip. Not so much back here, actually, at the back. And then I just want to see if those nicks are gone. I think they are. But if we have to go back, again, it's almost like a haircut too, so I'm just going to use the... back you up just a little bit. So now I'm going to remove the burr. Pivot, pull back. Make sure I wipe it off, just to make sure that if there's any piece of metal there. And I just like to go back a few times, just to, and I'm going to check and see if I see any nicks. And also, I don't use my skin, but the back of my thumbnail. I think that's smooth. I think that got all the nicks off that blade. So now, we're just going to polish that blade up. So I got my compound on here. Probably turn it up a little faster. Now, what I like to do when I'm polishing is I actually don't want to go all the way. I'm actually just going to stop just before I hit that 50-degree angle. and just polish the back without rolling over that sharp edge. All right, let's see how shiny that looks. Just want to clean it up a bit and just see. Yeah, I think that got it. Okay, so that got that blade. Sometimes after I polish, I like to pull back one more time on the lapping stone just to make sure if there is a burr there. Okay, that's that shear for that blade. Now we're gonna do the same thing with the next one. And again, just gonna go super easy and slow on it. If we can take the least amount of metal off, it's better. So for the life of the shear, depending on what kind of issue I'm dealing with on the shears, I sometimes sharpen a little bit differently each time. Sometimes I might go across and get the angle first and then go in convex. And other times I might convex and just hold 1, 2, 3, hold 1, 2, 3. Get that tip. Do we have a burr? Yeah, I can feel a burr. Excuse me. And is all the damage gone? So sometimes sharpening isn't just following the same process. Actually, it's kind of evaluating what was wrong with the shear and how can we actually fix that shear with the least amount of removal of metal. Because, I mean, the idea too is you want the client to be able to use their shears for as long as they can, but at the peak performance. So if I went and did a full step-by-step sharpening of this as if it was a dull blade or a damaged blade by another sharpener that didn't do it, where they put a bevel on a convex, then I'd be doing a lot more removal of material, which we don't want to do. So in this case, I really just wanted to remove the damage and keeping as much material as possible, especially since it's a brand new blade. And we're just polishing up. Again, I'm not going all the way. I know I'm a little bit further in the video there, but I'm not going all the way to the 50 degree. I'm actually pulling back so that I don't roll over that sharp edge. All right, that should do it. So now we're gonna go and just pull back again on here one more time with this blade, just to make sure we removed the burr. Flat on, flat off. Don't roll it on the and then again, I'm just gonna check, not with my skin. Smooth. I can feel on my nail. And that's nice and shiny too. All right, now I'm gonna clean it up with some isopropyl alcohol. I like the 90%. I know some people think it dries off too fast. I actually kind of like that it dries off faster. Get rid of all the red marker because you don't want to leave some red on the shear and the client think you cut yourself. Now I want to check this blade one more time. I think we got it. This feels pretty smooth. Might cut a piece of paper towel before. Okay, putting it back in. This is it's actually got a ball bearing in there, but typically it's the square peg in the round hole to begin with, and then the square hole. Put our clicker plate with the nipple facing up. Excuse me. Then we put this back in here. And then we're gonna tighten it up. Make sure we get the right tension without closing it yet though. We're gonna just I'm just gonna kind of feel, because I don't want to close it yet until I can make sure I've cut that burr right off. But kind of get an idea. That's probably going to be about the right tension. I may even do it on a paper towel, maybe just a double ply of tissue, just to make sure I get rid of the burr. Thumb out. Okay. Feels pretty good. Still might be a little rough spot right there. We're going to test it out on wet tissue. So this is a single ply. Wet it up. Ooh, get it good and wet. Okay, thumb out, and just slow pressure, and I'm going to feel. Cut right through. Sorry, am I? So it's cutting through. Okay, so let's test it on hair. My my mannequin is running out of hair here, but let's give it a I'll test it here first, just kind of this area here. So I think it's going pretty good. Okay, let's see if I can grab enough hair to show you. Okay, again, not pulling. It was pulling at the tip before. Okay, let's see. There. Is that better? No pulling. And it feels a lot better. All right, so I am happy with the outcome of that. They're done. Yeah, I don't know if you can see me. Let me fix this. All right, that's a win. Those are done. They're clean. There we go. Nick's gone. So, like I said, I changed my process a bit because the idea is I want to try to remove the least amount of metal as possible, but giving the client back the shear that it should have, the way it should be working. And now, yeah, there's no chunkiness to it. It's cutting smoothly on hair, no pulling. Got to oil it up. Want to make sure that we keep all the rust it well oiled, lubricated. So we're gonna put a dab here, and then open and close a couple times just to get it in there. And then what's gonna happen is that's gonna change the tension. It's gonna loosen it up. I'm gonna remove all the excess oil. And now it's going to be, we're going to check the tension. It's actually not bad. So those are done. That's a win. But it just kind of goes to show that a little nick, a little bit of damage, a little carelessness of throwing it around or accident happening, it falling off, can cause a lot of issues. It may look and feel pretty good, but then when you actually get on the client's hair, it's pulling, it's folding, it's not doing what it's supposed to do. But I'm happy with the outcome. I'm happy that I was able to take like barely any metal off, raise a burr, get that damage, shine it up, and back to the way they should be. If you like any of my other videos, or you want to check out my other videos where I do sharpening, whether it's texturizers, hair shears, grooming shears, I do other things, ice auger blades, knives, clipper blades, but this was a good one. So if you like this video, go down, like and subscribe, and check out my other videos. But thanks for checking me out, Josh at Double Edge Sharpening, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.